Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the absolute frickin' insanity, hypocrisy, and corruption of the left. Well, Donald Trump did it again. Donald Trump broke the internet. Donald Trump broke Twitter. And what I mean by that is he broke leftist brains. You know, there's this old saying or this old quote. I'm not exactly sure who historically that quote is attributed to, but I'll pop it up here on the screen. Actually, it was the meme of the day a couple days ago. It's something along the lines of how to offend a conservative, tell a lie, how to offend a leftist, tell the truth. You know what, for this video, we'll probably make that the meme of the day once again. I think that'll probably be the best way to do it, but the point that I'm getting to here is, what offends the left the most is the truth. You know, walk on eggshells, tippy-toe around the truth, tell a leftist whatever makes them feel all warm and fuzzy inside, whatever makes them feel morally superior, and everything's a-okay. Push the leftist dogma, regardless of how disconnected from reality, and leftists rejoice. Tell them the hard truth, and say it in a very unflattering manner, in a very matter-of-fact manner, and well, of course, as you know, all hell breaks loose. That's why they hate Donald Trump, you know, they call him a serial liar. They love to fact-check him with their phony fact checks, but the left's problem with Donald Trump isn't that he lies too much. The left's problem with Donald Trump is that he tells the truth too much. And here we go, once again, Donald Trump hits the frickin' mark, hits the nail directly on the head. Let's do a little bit of a character examination here, shall we? We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so here's the clip that has leftoids losing their damn minds. How horrible and unpresidential. How dare he say that?
The radical left Democrats are at it again. They're constantly making up stories about me because their candidate is a mental and physical basket case. There's never been anything like it. He's also the worst president in the history of our country. He went on a very poorly rated show last night, and he talked about Donald Trump and his wife. I don't know the name of my wife. He was referring to the fact that at CPAC, where I had a sold-out speech, the biggest audience they've had in years, I think maybe ever, I made the statement that Melania was very popular because when I mentioned her name, the audience went wild. I then looked at the two people, man and wife, Matt and Mercedes Schlapp, and I said, wow, they really like the First Lady. So this got taken as the fact that I thought Mercedes was the First Lady. It has nothing to do with that. These people are really dishonest. They are absolutely something. They have a horrible candidate who's a horrible president. They make up things constantly. You take a look at when I use Barack Hussein Obama and I interject him into where it's supposed to be Biden, and I do it purposely for comedic reasons and for sarcasm, because a lot of people say that Obama's running the country, not Biden, because he's sleeping all the time. They say, oh, I don't know the name of the president. Or when I imitate this guy getting off a stage, what they do is they say, oh, he had trouble getting off a stage. I have no trouble getting off a stage. Anybody that watches what I do at rallies would say, wow, that's amazing. He can go 2 hours without a teleprompter, not making even a little mistake. Very few people, maybe almost nobody, can do what I do. So here's the story. The disinformation of the Democrats is unbelievable. They do it because they have a horrible candidate. Don't associate me with the mental that you portray, because I want to tell you, he should not be leading this country. And hopefully on November 5th, he's not going to be. We're going to have a big election. We're going to have a big victory, and we're going to make America great again. Thank you.
Donald Trump once again just tells it like it is. The left is offended. Well, of course they are. They're perpetually offended. But while they're offended, I'm sitting here confused as to what exactly is the issue. Oh no, Trump said mean things about Joe Biden. He was harsh. Okay, but he was also
accurate.
And so that's kind of where we get to the distinction, right? Lefties are offended by words and tone. They get offended on other people's behalf. Say something that might be true, but it makes somebody feeling, I don't know, maybe a little bit negative, and the typical leftist with their savior complex will step in to save the day, shielding this poor individual from the horrors of the truth. I mean, oh man, this is the worst thing that's ever been said. How dare he say that about the current sitting president of the United States? How unpresidential. Listen, okay? You leftoids can keep feigning outrage all you want. Oh, the shock, the horror. But we're not with you. You know why? Because what Donald Trump is saying is actually how people speak. It's the beauty of Donald Trump as a leader. You know that when he speaks and when he says what he says, you're getting the true, authentic Donald. And in this case, what he's saying, while of course he's saying it in a creative manner, everybody's saying, everybody knows and believes essentially the same thing. So he's basically affirming what we already know. It isn't this grand controversy or this shock and horror statement. It's just a simple fact. The left wants you to be offended by facts. Well, let's use that infamous Ben Shapiro statement.
These are facts, and facts don't care about your feelings.
And at the end of the day, Trump is right, and the people agree. In fact, Democrats even agree. Let's take a look at the numbers. Here's a piece from Politico. Poll, nearly 70% of voters say Biden is too old to serve again. The Quinnipiac University poll showed that 49% of registered voters support Biden and 45% support Donald Trump. So here's a left-wing bias push poll that's a complete outlier and showing increased Democrat support compared to every other poll that shows Donald Trump absolutely trouncing Joe Biden. And even in that poll, 67% believe that Joe Biden is not mentally fit to serve. Only 34% said that Biden had the mental fitness to serve a second term, while 48% believe Trump is mentally fit. In other words, Trump is correct when he says, don't compare me to that mental you-know-what. Unfortunately, even in the clip that I played earlier, I'm going to have to bleep the actual word that he used because, well, welcome to the censorious online world that we live in today. But essentially, Trump is correct, and he's actually just voicing popular sentiment. In fact, what he's doing is, if anything, courageous. He's courageous enough to go there. And that right there is the mark of a good leader. You know what's bad leadership? People who are too scared to say the truth because they're too scared to offend people or they're too scared to jeopardize their political standing. Enough of that. That's been the GOP brand for how long? Capitulate to the Democrats. Lose, lose, lose. Put your tail between your legs and cower like a scared little mouse. How many times have you heard it? We need to moderate on this issue. Moderate on this issue. Moderate on this issue. Always moving towards the left. Always essentially doing their bidding. Thinking in the short term, simply going with the Democrat narrative because conservatives are too scared of the media. Too scared of what CNN and MSNBC is going to be saying about. That's not how you lead. That's how you run your party into the ground or run your business into the ground. By simply capitulating to the opposing groups that want to literally destroy you. Instead, Trump is courageous in his stances and in what he believes, and he's willing to say it when others aren't. It's probably the number one reason why I like Donald Trump so much, because you know what you're getting with the guy. It's moments like these that make me like him more rather than make me clutch my pearls. And the point that I was just building earlier, trying to visualize this contrast between Donald Trump and your typical politician, let's really cement that point with a flashback clip. We'll just play it, it'll make sense.
Okay, you want to put that on my...
You said it.
I'll take it.
Okay, good.
You know what I'll say? Yes. If we don't get what we want, one way or the other, whether it's through you, through a military, through anything you want to call, I will shut down the government.
Okay,
absolutely.
fair enough.
And
We
I am
disagree.
proud, and I'll
We
tell you what,
disagree.
I am proud to shut down the government for border security, Chuck, because the people of this country don't want criminals and people that have lots of problems and drugs pouring into our country. So I will take the mantle. I will be the one to shut it down. I'm not going to blame you for it. The last time you shut it down, it didn't work. I will take the mantle of shutting down. And I'm going to shut it down for border
But we
security.
believe you.
That shows exactly what I'm talking about. Chuck Schumer is more focused on getting that little soundbite out of Donald Trump and politicizing it. He's more interested in framing Donald Trump as an extremist who wants to shut down the government. He's more interested in playing politics. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is more interested in doing what the country so desperately needs, in accomplishing goals and achieving results, even if that means he'll be the bad guy in the media's portrayal. That's why he called on Republicans not to support Joe Biden's disastrous border bill. The Democrat narrative is that he didn't want Joe Biden to solve the border crisis because the crisis benefits him politically. Complete nonsense. The bill had to be stopped because the bill was utter trash, garbage, a bloated, useless bill that was really only a proxy to fund foreign conflict and, of course, expand this illegal migration racket. Just take a look at this letter just released by the White House. Fact sheet: impact of bipartisan border agreement funding on border operations. The bill also includes $1.4 billion for cities and states who are providing critical services to, quote, newcomers, and would expedite work permits for people who are in the country and qualify. Yeah, Biden's border security bill expands the fraudulent asylum racket and redefines illegal migrants who broke the law as, quote, newcomers. Oh, but Donald Trump was just trying to stop the bill for political purposes. No, Donald Trump pushed to stop that garbage spending proposal because it was the right thing to do, despite whatever narrative could be crafted and twisted to push DNC talking points. Conservatives, from my view, look, it's not everybody, but in a general sense, it's quite true. Conservatives are offended by lies. Leftists are offended by the truth. That's why they hate Donald Trump so much, because he's willing to take the arrows. He's willing to take the shots. He's willing to take the punches as he yells the truth from the mountaintops. Anyways, that's pretty much what's on my mind. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, friends, and I'll see you on the next one.